General Juwu Park stood before the Galactic Council, her military uniform worn from years of service. The alien leaders sat in their grand seats, wearing fancy robes that caught the light. The meeting room was huge, made inside a giant asteroid, at the center of council space. Everyone went quiet when Juwu walked forward. They had all thought Earth would send someone who talked about peace, not a military leader. "Counselors," Juwu said in a strong, clear voice that filled the room, "I am not here to ask if humans can join your group. I am here to tell you that you have made a big mistake in how you see us." The room stayed silent. Many of the aliens looked at each other, surprised by her words. Some seemed angry, others curious. One of the council members, a tall bug-like creature with large eyes and clicking mouth parts, made a sound of dislike. "Your kind has only just learned to travel between stars. What makes you think you can speak to us this way?" Juwu did not back down. Instead, she smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. It was the kind of smile someone gives when they know something important that others don't. "I want to tell you about Earth's past," she said. "About all the times we nearly died out as a species, and how each time we came back stronger." She pressed a button on her wrist. A large picture appeared in the air showing Earth. It began to show scenes of human history. Great wars with millions dead, terrible sicknesses that killed whole cities, weather disasters that changed the face of the planet, and times when objects from space nearly hit Earth. "While your people grew up in peaceful places," Juwu continued, "humans grew up fighting to stay alive. You think we are too simple to join you because our ships and weapons aren't as good as yours. But what you don't understand is that humans don't change slowly over time. When we face death, we make big jumps forward." The bug alien made another clicking sound. "That is a nice story, but it doesn't matter. Your spaceships are slow. Your weapons are weak. Juwu held up her hand, stopping the alien mid-sentence. The council members looked shocked. No one interrupted the council. "You think you know what humans can do," Juwu said. "You're wrong." She pressed another button. A new picture appeared, showing a special engine design. "This is how our ships really work," she said. "With this, we can move through space in ways your sensors can't see. And right now, we have 37 ships sitting near your most important places in space. Your space stations, your homeworlds, your fuel centers." The room erupted in noise. Aliens stood up, yelling and pointing. Guards ran in from side doors, holding weapons. Juwu didn't move. She just stood calmly as the noise grew around her. "We are not attacking you," she said loudly over the noise. "If we wanted war, we would have started it already. This is just to show you what we can do, to show you that humans deserve respect." The oldest council member, a small creature with skin like tree bark, raised a hand. Slowly, the room grew quiet again. "Why are you doing this?" the old alien asked. "What do humans want?" Juwu looked around the room, meeting the eyes of each council member. "We want to work together," she said. "Humans solve problems in ways you don't. We think differently. We act differently. We can help each other. You have better technology. We have new ideas. Together, we could do great things." To prove her point, Juwu showed them one more thing: Earth's cure for a sickness that had been killing aliens across the galaxy for years. The Council's best scientists hadn't been able to stop it. But humans, looking at the problem with fresh eyes, had found an answer in just months. The Council members looked at the cure details in silence. Even the bug alien had nothing to say now. "This is just one example," Juwu said. "Imagine what we could do together with everything else. But first, you need to see us as equals, not as children to be kept out of grown-up business." She stood tall, waiting for their answer. The future of humanity among the stars hung in the balance. The room fell silent as Juwu touched her wrist control. A bright light burst from the small device, expanding into a large three-dimensional display that filled the center of the council chamber. The alien representatives leaned forward in their seats, eyes of all shapes and colors fixed on the images now playing before them. The hologram showed Earth's past in vivid detail. Ju made sure they saw everything. Soldiers dying in muddy trenches during world wars, cities turned to ash by bombs, hospitals overflowing with plague victims, coastlines disappearing under rising waters, and massive chunks of space rock nearly hitting the planet. But after each disaster, the hologram showed something else. Humans rebuilding, creating new technologies, finding new ways to survive, cities rising from ashes, medicine advancing, space programs launching. Look closely, Ju said, pointing to the timeline that ran along the bottom of the display. See how fast we advanced after each near-death experience. It took your species thousands of years to discover electricity. We did it in a fraction of that time. She walked through the hologram, her body passing through the images of human history. While your worlds knew peace and slow, steady growth, Earth was a place of constant struggle. We didn't have the luxury of time. We had to adapt quickly or die. The oldest council member, skin wrinkled like ancient paper, spoke up. Many species face hardships, General Park. That does not make yours special. True, Ju nodded, but few species have faced so many extinction-level events and survived them all. Each time we came close to the end, we didn't just survive. We transformed. The blue-skinned council member with 4 arms crossed all of them. And yet your ships are slow, your weapons primitive, your energy systems inefficient. Or so we've let you believe, Ju replied with a small smile. The gelatinous delegate sitting near the center pulsed with bright colors that showed its dismissal of her words. Its body rippled as it spoke, 7 eye stalks all focused on Ju. This is entertaining, human, but ultimately meaningless, it said, its voice like wet bubbles popping. Your limited technological capabilities. Ju didn't let it finish. She pressed another button on her wrist control. The hologram changed instantly. The images of Earth's past disappeared, replaced by technical drawings of an engine unlike anything the Council had seen before. This is the quantum fold drive, Ju said. Humans invented it 3 years ago. It doesn't just let ships move faster than light. It lets them slip between the fabric of space itself. The Council members stared at the designs, some in confusion, others in growing alarm. What you're describing is impossible, said the insect-like delegate, its voice clicking rapidly in agitation. Is it? Ju asked. She pressed her control again. The hologram changed to show real-time images of human ships, sleek, dark vessels hovering near key points throughout Council space. One hung silently beside the Council's main power station. Another drifted near their largest shipyard. A third waited just outside the atmosphere of a Council homeworld. As we speak, Ju said calmly, her voice level despite the chaos now erupting in the chamber. 37 human vessels are positioned near critical Council infrastructure. Not as threats, but as proof of concept. Guards rushed into the room. Alarms began to sound. Several Council members stood up, shouting orders into communication devices. Our ships were able to bypass all your detection systems. Ju continued as if nothing unusual was happening. Your defense networks never saw them coming. They've been in place for weeks. The oldest Council member raised a gnarled hand, and gradually the room quieted again. If this is true, the elder said, voice quivering slightly, then you have committed an act of war against the Council. Ju shook her head. If we wanted war, would I be standing here telling you about our ships? Would they still be waiting peacefully without firing a single shot? She walked to the center of the room, directly under the main light, making sure every alien in the chamber could see her clearly. This isn't a threat. It's a demonstration. Humans don't want to fight the Council. We want you to understand that we are not the primitive species you thought we were. We have much to offer as partners, not subjects. The room was quiet now. Every alien face turned toward her. You've misjudged us, Ju said. The question is, what will you do now that you know the truth? The council chamber exploded into noise and movement. Some aliens jumped from their seats, waving their arms or tentacles in the air. Others shouted in languages that made the translator devices crackle with strain. Guards with shiny armor and glowing weapons poured in through every door. "Arrest the human," shouted the insect-like council member, its voice a high-pitched clicking that somehow cut through the noise. "This is an act of war." "Send battle cruisers to destroy those human ships," called another, its blue skin turning dark purple with anger. 3 security guards approached Juwu, weapons drawn. She didn't move or show any fear. She just stood in the center of the room, calm as still water while chaos swirled around her. "You will regret this, human," said the guard captain, reaching for restraints at his belt. "Enough." The voice was like stone grinding against stone, ancient and powerful. Everyone froze. The oldest council member had risen from his seat. Though small and seemingly frail, his voice carried a weight that commanded instant respect. His skin, like bark from an ancient tree, cracked as he moved forward. "No one will arrest anyone until we hear the human out," he said. The guard stepped back reluctantly. The old one turned his 4 eyes to Juwu. "You have caused quite a disturbance, General Park. If your ships are truly where you claim, you have violated our most sacred spaces. This could start a war that would end your species." Juwu nodded. "I understand the risk I've taken by coming here. And yes, our ships are exactly where I showed you." "Then why?" asked the elder. "Why reveal your advantage?" The room had gone completely quiet now. Every being present leaned forward to hear her answer. "We could have chosen war," Juwu said, her voice clear and strong. "We could have attacked your key installations without warning. Instead, we chose this demonstration to offer you a choice." The old council member walked slowly toward her, his movements careful but deliberate. "Speak plainly, human. What do you want?" "Partnership, not subjugation," Juwu replied without hesitation. "Humanity offers a trade, our innovative approach to problem-solving in exchange for access to council technology. We don't want to conquer. We want to contribute." The gelatinous council member pulsed with skeptical colors. "Bold words from a species that has just threatened us with hidden warships." "Not threatened," Juwu corrected. "Demonstrated capability. There's a difference." "And what exactly would humanity contribute to the council?" asked the blue-skinned delegate. "Your only apparent skill seems to be in making threats." Juwu smiled. "I expected that question." She touched her wrist control once more. The hologram in the center of the room changed again. "Do you recognize this?" she asked. The new image showed a microscopic organism, something like a virus but with an unusual structure. The council members murmured among themselves. The old one spoke again. "That is the cause of the Crimson Plague. It has killed millions across 12 worlds. Our best scientists have worked for 30 years to find a cure." "And failed," Juwu added, "because your scientists all approached the problem the same way. They tried to kill the organism." She tapped her control again. The hologram zoomed in on the strange virus, showing its inner workings. Humans looked at it differently. "We noticed something your scientists missed because they were too focused on destroying it. The organism isn't actually harmful by itself. It produces a toxin only when it feels threatened." The display showed the virus releasing red particles when attacked. "So instead of trying to kill it," Juwu continued, "we created this." The hologram changed to show a simple compound. It makes the organism feel safe, so it stops producing the toxin. The body can then naturally clear the harmless organism over time. A deep silence fell over the chamber. Even the most hostile council members stared at the display with new interest. "This is just one example," Juwu said. "Humans think differently because we've had to survive differently. We see problems from angles your species might miss." The old council member studied the cure diagram carefully. "If this works, it would save countless lives." "It works," Juwu assured him. "We've tested it extensively." and it's yours, freely given as a show of good faith." She looked around the room, meeting the eyes of each council member. This is what partnership could mean. Your advanced technology combined with our unique perspective. Imagine what we could accomplish together. The council members looked at each other. Doubt and hope battled on faces of all shapes and colors. "The choice is yours," Ju said. "War or partnership. We are ready for either." For 3 days, Ju sat in a small room next to the council chamber. It wasn't exactly a prison cell. It had a comfortable bed, food that humans could eat, and clean water. But the 2 armed guards at the door made it clear she wasn't free to leave. Through the walls, she could sometimes hear raised voices from the council room. They were arguing about what to do with her and with Earth. Ju spent the time calmly. She ate when food was brought. She slept when she was tired. She did simple exercises in the small space to keep her body strong. The guards watched her with curious eyes. They had never seen a human before. "Is it true your ships can hide from our sensors?" one guard asked on the second day, breaking the rules about talking to the prisoner. Ju just smiled. Reports came in from across council space. Human ships were leaving their positions near important council places. They weren't running away in fear. They were moving slowly, making sure the council could see them. It was as if they were saying, "We could stay hidden if we wanted to, but we choose to let you see us leave." This made the council even more confused about what to do. Inside the chamber, the debate was fierce. The council members who led military forces wanted to attack Earth right away. "They threatened us," shouted Doran, the commander of the council defense fleet, his red scales flaring with anger. "If we don't punish them, other species will think they can do the same." Others, like Talon, who represented worlds known for learning and art, argued for peace. "The humans have shown us something new," Talon said, her 4 arms moving in the graceful patterns of her people. "They could have attacked but didn't. They offer partnership. We should at least listen." But the most interesting views came from the oldest council members. These ancient beings had lived for hundreds or sometimes thousands of years. They had seen many species rise and fall. "There is something in these humans I have not seen for a very long time," said Elder Moore, the oldest of all, his bark-like skin creaking as he spoke. "They remind me of how our own peoples were long ago, when we were still climbing to the stars. They have that fire, that spark of seeing old problems in new ways." On the 3rd day, a decision was finally reached. Guards came to Juu's room and took her back to the council chamber. All the members were in their seats, watching her as she walked to the center of the room. Elder Moore spoke first. "General Park, after much debate, the council has decided to hear more about your proposal for partnership. But first, we have serious concerns that must be addressed." Juu nodded. She had expected this. "Your methods were provocative, General Park," the elder continued, "but effective in gaining our attention. We cannot ignore that. However, we have questions about humanity's capacity for peace given your warlike history." The room was completely silent. Every council member watched Juu carefully, waiting for her answer. She took a deep breath and spoke clearly so everyone could hear. "Earth's history is full of war, yes. I won't deny that. We have fought each other for land, for resources, for beliefs. But each time, we learned something. Each war taught us the high cost of conflict." She walked a few steps forward, looking directly at Elder Moore. "We don't seek to bring conflict to the stars. We learned from our bloody past that cooperation yields greater rewards than conquest. The last World War on Earth taught us that nobody truly wins in all-out conflict. Since then, we've worked to build peace among our own different peoples." She turned slowly, making eye contact with each council member. "But we will not be relegated to obscurity or treated as children. Earth demands respect, not as conquerors, but as equals with unique perspectives. We want to join your council as partners who can contribute, not as subjects to be controlled." The blue-skinned delegate leaned forward. "Fine words, General. But actions speak louder. Your first action was to secretly place warships near our worlds. Jiwoo nodded. Yes, because when we sent diplomatic messages asking to join the council, they were ignored. When we sent scientific achievements, they were dismissed. We needed to get your attention in a way you couldn't ignore. And now that we have it, we've pulled our ships back as a sign of good faith. Elder Moore's ancient eyes studied her face for a long moment. And if we refuse your offer, if we tell you humans must wait another century before being considered for membership? The room grew tense again. This was the key question. Jiwoo didn't hesitate. Then we will wait, but not as a primitive backwater world to be forgotten. We will continue to develop, to grow, to reach out to other species. We won't attack the council. That was never our intention. But we won't be ignored either. Something like a smile creased Elder Moore's ancient face. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. 6 months had passed since Jiwoo's bold stand before the council. Today, she walked into a very different chamber than the one she had first entered. The room had been rebuilt. The seats were no longer arranged in rows of power and importance. Now they formed a perfect circle, with no position higher than another. And at one point in that circle stood a new seat. It was made of simple earth materials, wood and metal, standing out among the exotic alien materials. Above it hung the flag of Earth, blue and green, side by side with the ancient banner of the Galactic Council. Jiwoo straightened her new formal clothes. She no longer wore her military uniform. Today, she wore the blue and silver robes of an Earth ambassador. Many eyes followed her as she walked to Earth's seat. Some looks were friendly, others still suspicious, but all were respectful. The past 6 months had not been easy. Adding humans to the council had caused many problems at first. Humans like to speak directly about issues. Many alien species found this rude and shocking. Humans wanted to test and question everything. Some aliens relied on ancient beliefs that they felt shouldn't be challenged. "Ambassador Park, you're early again," said Talon, the four-armed diplomat who had become one of Jiwoo's closest allies on the council. "Earth habit," Jiwoo smiled. "We like to be prepared." "Your preparation has already changed much," Talon replied, looking around the chamber. "Not everyone is happy about it." That was true. Several council members still opposed Earth's membership. They complained that humans moved too fast, asked too many questions, and didn't respect traditions. But even they couldn't deny the results. In just 6 months, human and alien scientists working together had made amazing progress. The cure for the Crimson Plague had saved millions of lives across 12 worlds. Human ship designers working with council engineers had created new vessels that were faster and stronger than anything before. Human farmers had shown alien worlds new ways to grow food in difficult places. The council was changing. After thousands of years of doing things the same way, new ideas were spreading throughout council space. Elder Moore entered the chamber, walking slowly with his cane. Though he could have used hover technology to move more easily, he preferred to walk. "It keeps me connected to the ground," he always said. He nodded at Jiwoo as he passed. The session began with the traditional lighting of the council flame. Then Elder Moore and Jiwoo moved to the center of the room together. It was time for the announcement they had been working on for months. "Honored representatives," Elder Moore's ancient voice filled the chamber. "Today we present the Cooperative Defense Initiative, a new approach to keeping our world safe." Jiwoo activated the display system. Images appeared showing new ships, new defense systems, and new ways of organizing the Council's protection forces. "For too long, we have relied on the same methods of defense," Jiwoo explained. "Big fleets of similar ships, fixed defense positions, predictable patterns." She showed how the new initiative would change everything. Human tactical thinking had been combined with the Council's advanced technology. The result was a defense system that could adapt quickly to new threats, just as humans had adapted to survive on Earth. "The universe is vast and largely unknown," Jiwoo said, looking around at all the alien faces. We faced extinction repeatedly on Earth and survived by adapting. The challenges ahead will require all of our strengths combined. Elder Moore nodded. In all my long life, I never expected to see the Council change so much, so quickly. But change, I now see, is not always something to fear. Sometimes it is exactly what is needed. The vote that followed was not unanimous, but it was enough. The Cooperative Defense Initiative would become reality. It was the biggest change to Council security in over 5,000 years. As the meeting ended, Jiwoo walked to the large window that took up one wall of the chamber. Outside, she could see ships moving between the stars. Some were the elegant curved vessels of the Council races. Others were the more angular, practical ships from Earth, different in design, but now working as one fleet with one purpose. Elder Moore joined her at the window. You have found a place for your people among the stars, Ambassador Park. Jiwoo nodded, not by conquest, as some on your council feared, but by showing that sometimes the greatest power comes from thinking in new ways. The old alien made a sound that might have been a laugh. The next 1,000 years will be very interesting, I think. I only wish I could be here to see it all. Who knows? Jiwoo smiled. With human and council medical science working together now, you just might be. As the stars shone bright outside, Jiwoo felt pride in what humanity had accomplished. They had taken their place among the oldest civilizations of the galaxy, not through force, but by showing the unique strength that came from their troubled past. The road ahead would not be easy, but it would be traveled together.